put more pressure on his shoulders than he's already got. But I have to say my opinion. I think he could be as good as anyone in his position, whichever position he plays. You know, today he was at right back, and I thought he was outstanding. Centre midfield, I think he's really growing in terms of stature and confidence and belonging, which is all really important qualities. And the goals, I think, will only add to that. He is a leader by example, definitely. I mean, he's so not laid back. Again, that's the wrong phrase, but he's just takes everything in his stride. You never see him really overly emotional, which I think is a big strength. See him score at Leverkusen, big goal today, big goal. He's 6'4". He should contribute, but I think that is a big part of his game that will only get better. His physicality, and you can see his technical quality. So, such a bright future.
You said you didn't want to put much pressure on him, but I think he might have with that high praise there. Is he as good as Eddie Howe's making?
Well, Eddie knows the player. I trust Eddie. I think he knows the player when he looks at one. You're not only looking what his output is, he's looking at his mentality, which is key. You know, for a kid not to get too big for his boots too early. I think this boy looks like he's grounded. I think the way Eddie's talking about him, I don't think he's in any danger of losing his head and getting beyond his station. And like Eddie said, it was quite surprising there. In any position where he
played right back last night.
Yeah, like O'Reilly, I think at Man City. I think he could be in that mould. I think O'Reilly's a midfield player. He's obviously played left back for Man City. He's been outstanding. Got in the England squad playing that way as well. He's obviously going the right way, you know, and it's on the back of a hugely disappointing result in the derby. I know you quite like me mentioning that. I think there's nothing more than a homegrown player to stand up and try and get you through a difficult period. And look, it won't be a consolation. That result will never get put right until March the
27th.
There you go. I knew you'd know the exact day and the exact hour that game was coming.
Well, it'll probably change with TV if I'm honest. So it might not be exactly
until they get an opportunity for a revenge at St James's. I think they're always going to be in the doldrums there. But they're going the right way about it. In another semi-final of the cup where they're the holders of, and Lewis Miley to score the winner last night. Big boy, like Eddie said, he's got a huge frame, 6'5". Got technical ability, gets around the pitch. He's got all the ingredients to be a top draw player. It looks like he's got the mentality for it as well.
It's March 21st, so I actually did get that wrong. You like to see academy players getting a chance as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So that you'll be glad to see that. Should we bring in a Newcastle fan now, actually, to talk more about this? Paul Rutter joins us now because Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis Snap, where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, scan the QR code here or visit the Sky Sports app for more details. Right, Paul, what improvements did you see last night?
Well, we had a go, didn't we? We had a go. It was definitely chalk and cheese from the weekend. I don't think we gave a good account of ourselves at all at the weekend. It was, of course, Sunderland's cup final. Meanwhile, we're concentrating on trying to get to the actual cup final itself. But yeah, last night, I thought we controlled the game apart from literally a 30-second spell where they scored and they equalised. But I was quite impressed. I was always confident that we would get the victory in the end. I just didn't think it would come quite as late and in such a dramatic fashion. And myself, I was right in the thick of it when the goal was scored. All the players were right in front of us. It was absolutely utterly fantastic. What I didn't want to get to was penalty kicks, because the consequences of a lottery type situation, given the fact we'd lost against Sunderland at the weekend, it could have been quite a difficult situation and a difficult moment. But Lewis Miley up steps, the boy who steps up to be a man, Johnny on the spot, great shot to actually force the corner in the first place, and then delightful, great corner for Tonali, and then near post, and finally, we're doing something off a set piece. It was a fantastic moment at St James's Park.
Paul, Whistle scoring is a huge plus for you, isn't it? I mean, to give the boys some confidence. To score in front of the home fans there at St James's Park, I mean, it's a huge bonus for you. Because I think you've been quite blunt going forward. Your wide players are not really turning up at the moment. Well, Tamada, obviously, the disappointment of scoring the OG against Sunderland. So it was important that Wissa got some confidence.
Not just that, but at the end of the day, he's not played any football since, what, was it May? Back at Brentford, no pre-season, no nothing. And it was nice last night to have that that poacher, that natural instinct, the fox in the box. Voldemade has been fantastic. There's no complaints from me from Voldemade with his performances in a Newcastle United shirt. However, last night, when you want the ball to break to somebody in the box, it is that instinct, that it's that number 9 that we've missed throughout the season. It was obviously a very difficult summer. We've been sort of playing catch-up since then, to be honest. So it was just great seeing him in. Great cross, great goal. And, yeah, I can't wait to be able to see Visser and Voldemade start, together.
Do you understand the last few weeks that the minority who are questioning Eddie Howe, not singing Howe out or anything like that, but starting to question him for the first time?
I mean, I've seen a couple of things on social media, but if you gauge everything by social media, it can be quite a dark and unusual place, and every village has got its idiot at the end of the day. Last night at St James's Park, if you saw before the game kicked off, there was a massive banner in the Gallagher end. One picture of Eddie Howe, one picture of Bruno up in the Gallagher end, and that really spoke it all. The fans were singing his name throughout, and there's been no lack of confidence or belief from the travelling support when we go away from home, or the home support at all. It is just a couple of cuckoos on social media that's sort of trying to drum something up for interactions or whatever. The reality of the situation is, because of what Eddie Howe has done for the club, he has got tremendous credit in the bank. We had 14 years of Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley and Steve Bruce and the likes, Joe Kinnear. We haven't forgotten that in such a short time. We're still the League Cup holders. We're still in all the competitions. We're well placed in the Champions League. We're not a million miles away off it in the Premier League. And, hopefully when this injury crisis is sort of over and we get to January, we can really, really push on in the second half, which is historically what Eddie Howe teams have done. We've started slowly and we've got better in the second half of the season.
How good is he, Lewis Miley?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You look at some of the stuff that he's done so far. 2 Champions League campaigns. He went to Paris Saint-Germain and was one of the best players on the park when we were absolutely robbed over there. Scoring in the Champions League, it should have been the winner. Of course, it should have been in Germany last time out. And again, like I touched upon before, not only the header in a pressurised situation, and I'm in amongst all of that, literally just there. But, like I said, the initial shot in a pressurised situation with penalties looming, he got a great shot away, left foot, should have probably scored, great save. But then, like I say, 19-year-old, is he? 19-year-old, and to take that responsibility and to be the match winner, I thought was absolutely and utterly fantastic. Playing at right back, he's been fantastic there. He's been brilliant in the middle of the park. All the players have been speaking very, very highly of him as well. And it's just great to see one of your own. Everybody needs a Geordie in the middle, as the song goes. And I was just absolutely delighted for him. And also Sandro Tonali as well, who's had a couple of iffy weeks, probably carrying a knock and stuff like that. Great set piece, great header. Yeah. And Newcastle United are actually in the real cup and not the we beat Newcastle at the weekend.
Well, you're the manager tomorrow. You've got a cup final tomorrow. Do you pick Lewis Miley?
Why not?
In front of, who'd you leave out? You're not leaving Bruno out, are you?
Or Tonali.
Tonali or Joe Linton. No. Who'd you pick?
At the end of the day, at the moment, Joe Linton's on the bench, but Joe Linton is carrying an injury and he's only been there to sort of, in case of emergency, break glass and call on Joe Linton. So that is the reason why he hasn't been involved recently. He hasn't come off the bench. So at the moment, on absolute form, Lewis Miley deserves to be in there, whether that's in the middle of the park, which he's done really, really well at, or whether that is at right back. As an emergency right back, and we probably will need him to be able to play there at the weekend against Chelsea, with Livramento looking like he's going to be out, Trippier's out, Kraft's out, so we are down to the bare bones.
Yeah, Trippier as well, of course. OK, Paul, thank you.
Cheers, Paul.
No problem.